हरि ओम् नमः सर्वेभ्यः अद्वैतचिन्तनवर्गे सर्वेषां स्वागतम्। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ मौनव्याख्या प्रकटितः परब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानं वर्षिष्टान्ते वसदृषिगणैरावृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दमूर्तिम् स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे। वडविडवि समीपे भूमिवागे निषण्णं सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारात् त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवं जननमरणदुःखच्छेददक्षं नमामि। चित्रं वडतरोर्मूले वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा गुरोस्तु मौनं व्याख्यानं शिष्यास्तु छिन्न संशयाः निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्ताय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। चिदोद्घनाय महेशाय वडमूलनिवासिने सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। So the first stotra, Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijantargatam pasyannatmani mayaya buhirivo bhutam yada nidraya यत्साक्षात् प्रबोध समये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमैतं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये. That mantra, that sutra and the commentaries by Suresuracharya is being continued. We did up to the 15th Vartikam of Manasolasa. Now today we will continue with that. In the 15th, what we did was, it was the thing, the Shrutya Acharya Prasadena Yogyabhasena Vashena cha Ishvara Nugrahena api Swatma Bodho Yata Bhavet Bhuktam Yada Annam Kushistidam Smatmatvena Eva Pashyati Purnahanda Kabalidam Vishyam Yogeshwaram Yada. So we saw that the example of how the food is not, even though is causal for the hunger to be quenched, that separatedness of the food, which is the cause for the removal of the hunger, do not stand apart, it becomes part of the body. Same way, those who are doing the yoga abhyasa, or through Shruti, Acharya Prasadena, or in the Ishvaranugrahena, when the avidya is removed, when the ignorance is removed, these efforts which are being put like Shruti, Acharya, Yoga Abhyasa, and all of them will become part and parcel of the process, and thereby the Ajnana Nivritti is taking place. Now, what are the forms of confusion or delusion or Ajnana is being continued in the next Vartika. Yata swapne nripa bhutva bhuktva bhogan yada ipsitan chaturanga balopeta shatrum jitva ranange tadanantaram parajitah parat parajitah bhutva vanam prapya tapascharan muhurtamatram atmanam manyante kalpajivanam tataiva Jagrat kale api manorajyam karoti asau kala nadim aukha vekena kshinam ayu na pashyati. Now he is being given an example. In the dream, yata swapne, in the dream, if one person is dreaming that he is a king, nripa bhutva, becoming a king, bhuktva bhogan, he enjoys the royal food and enjoyments. Yatha Ipsitavan, he is getting himself, satisfied by the desired food these are all in the dream, you should understand. And he is going to win a war with the Shatru in the battlefield with all the fourfold cavalry like elephant, horse, and foot soldiers, etc., etc. So all these things are part of the dream. Then suddenly in the dream itself, tatparat parajita bhutva vanam prapya tapascharan muhurta matram atmanam manyante kalpajivan. Parajitaha, he feels that he has been defeated in the next moment. In the first moment, he saw that he has won the war against the Shatru and the enemy. In the same dream, suddenly he feels that he has lost everything. He goes to the forest for the tapas, vanaprastham. He takes the sannyasa part of it. Muhurta matram atmanam manyante kalpajivanam. Everything this in atmana means himself. Muhurta matram. For a momentary experience is all these things are there, like the kingly experience, the winning of the war in the battlefield, losing the war, going to the forest, doing the tapas, etc. This is all muhurta matram, is momentary in life. Manyate kalpajina, it is the imagination of the one who is dreaming. And then what he is saying, tadaiva, in the same manner, jagrat kale api, in the jagrat avastha, in the waking kale api, manorajyam karoti aso. He is daydreaming in the manorajyam. But what happens is that kala nati aukha vekena kshinam ayu na pashyati. In that process of daydreaming and the swapna, both are identical. Even in the waking, what is happening is a kalpajivinam, is the thing. But what he is not realizing is that ayuhu means his lifespan. Kshinam is getting diminished or reduced. Kala nadi aukha vekhena. It's a river of time, and the speed of the ocean, speed of the river water, is the way in which that his life is getting reduced from birth to death. How fast he has moved, he is getting na pashyati. He doesn't see, or he is not even aware of such an event happening in such fast speed, because he is full time engaged in his manorajyam, in the world of his own dream, whether it is in the swapna or in the waking world. His engagement is only in the mind, and he is not realizing what is actually happening in his life. Mekachanno anshumaniliva mayaya mohidadikam kinchit karta cha kinchit jnatnyo lakshyate parameshwara. Megachanna, just as covered by mekha achanna. Anshumaliva, like the sun covered by the clouds. Mayaya mohidaha, by the delusion of the maya. Sometimes Kanchit Karta, one thinks is a Kanchit, he is the knower of the, this thing. And by doing that, he is actually doing he is Lakshyate Parameshwara. He is actually, these activities are indicating that his real nature is Parameshwara, or the one which is untouched by the Kartrutvam and the Bhoktrutvam Jnanatvam. Because it is Mayaya Mohitaha. Because he is getting what you call deluded by the activities of ignorance, like the cloud covering a sun. The sun is so powerful, cloud is nowhere compared to the size of the sun and the potency to cover the sun. Yet, a thick cloud can bring in a darkness to the experience. And it can go in just no minute. If a breeze comes and takes away the cloud, that darkness is removed and the sun shines again. The same way, the ignorance is a tuchha vastu, means insignificant is the cause for the delusion. And because of the delusion, he thinks that he is the doer or he is the one who is knower. But in both these things, what it is saying, it is shining because the Lakshyate, Parameshwara Lakshyate, it is due to the grace of the Supreme. His nature is that of Supreme Ishvara. Yadyat karoti janati tasmin parameshwaraha raja vidwan swasamarthan ishvara ayam iti idyate. Yadyat karoti, whatever one does, janati, or what one knows, tasmin, in each of that activity or each of those events, Parameshwara, the Pareshwara, the Supreme Ishvara, Raja, Vidwan, and both as a Raja or a Vidwan, whatever may be the Karoti means Raja. Raja is the one who does all the actions. Vidwan is the one who knows the Jnanati. So therefore both Raja and Vidwan are connected to the activities of Karoti and Janati. Swa Samarthyat, by self-expertise, Ishvara Ayam Iti Idyate is transacted. Then when he thinks that I am the one doing the work, or I am the one who has the knowledge, he thinks himself to be the Ishvara, or the one who is controlling the action or the controlling the knowledge. He is not realizing that the reality behind it. This is the indication of what the Maya does. The Raja thinks he is the one who is ruling the country, and the Vidwan thinks that he is the one who knows the knowledge and is able to impart the knowledge. And therefore they think that they are the supreme in each of their own field. So, Jnana Kriye Shive Naikyat Sankarante Sarva Janeshu Ishwaratva Jivanam Siddham Tat Shakti Sangat. Jnana Kriye, in the acts of wisdom, Shivena Aikyat, by the association of Shiva, Sankrante is the residue, Sarva Janeshu, in all being, Ishwaratvam or godliness, Cha, Jivanam Siddham established, that Tat Shakti Sangat, association of workers. Here what does this sloka says is that Jnana Kriya, in the acts of wisdom, or that Aham Janati, as in the previous thing, is because of the association of Shiva or the Ishvara. Sarva Janeshu Ishwaratvam, for all beings is knowing things because of the Ishvara Shakti Sangat, Ishvarasya Sangat. It is the association of the divine power in our own association that we are knowing. Because other than that Atma, which is a part of Ishvara, Jiva, Ishvara, Atma, Vedam Nasti. There is no difference between them. Yet we think that we are knowing by associating with the body. I am the one who is doing the action. All these things are delusions, and it doesn't know that But when you know that this Shivena Aikyat Eva, this is happening only because of the association of the Jiva, Atma present in our being, that we are able to perform either knowing or acting. Ayam Gadaha, Ayam Padaha, Ityevam Nana Pratitishu, Arkaprabha Eva Swajnanam, Swayameva Prakashate. When we say this is a pot or this is a cloth, etc., in all the pratitis, all the appearances, actually what we are saying is seeing the sunlight only. We think that we are seeing the pot, or we are seeing the cloth, or we are seeing some object. Actually, the seeing activity, what we are seeing is the light reflected from that object. That object per se will not be known unless the sunlight falls and reflects on the object. Same way, this knowledge which is within ourselves, Swajnanam, one's own knowledge, which is the reason inside, which is the one Swayameva Prakashate. It doesn't need another light like sunlight to show that word for its own existence. That Ahamasmi, the knowledge that I am, is never lit by the sunlight or any other lamp from outside, unlike what we see the Gada and the pot. For seeing the objects of the world outside, we need a light of the sun. Not only the sight of the sun is required, but we also need the Suprakasha Atma from within, which is going toward the eyes. And this example will come in one of the stotras in the later, Nana Chidra Gadotra. That sloka will explain that. But here, it is that knowledge of the knowing knower, Suprakashita, or self-effulgence of the nature of Atman, in which even the sunlight is seen from the pot. Just like that light is required for the objects to be seen for the instrument of the eye, but if that knowledge of the self is not there from which is the self-effulgent in nature, even if the light falls from the object into our eyes, we will not be able to see that thing. This example is that when we are sitting somewhere and somebody walks in front of us, we don't realize that who has passed by. Unless he comes back seeing that we are sitting, he comes back. Hey, why are you sitting here? That is the time when we realize that he had passed by and he has come back to, touch and talk to us. So, even though the light was falling onto that person and it was reflecting to our eye, it was not enshrined or lit by the knowledge light from within. So, the external sun is also useless unless it is given the self-illuminating nature of the knowledge from within. So, Swayameva Prakashate, that is the one which is creating. And that, if it is that the case for the external object, what to talk about one's own existence? That I am is a knowledge which is there in every one of us. That knowledge is not lit by any light from outside, but I do exist or I am there is not a Bahya Vrittik Prayatnam, or means the external instruments are not helping to know us that knowledge that I am or I exist. That is the reason why Swajnanam Swayameva Prakashate. This one's own knowledge is self-shining or self-effulgent in nature. Jnanam na chet swayam siddham jagadandam tamo bhaved na chet asya kriya kachit vyavahara kadam bhaved. Jnanam, the knowledge. Which knowledge? The knowledge from the self. Na chet, if it is not there, the whole world will become dark. The same thing is told by Bhartrihari in the Vakyapatiya. There he has used the word Shabda. If the Shabda has not been there, Bhuvanatrayam Andha, it would have become dark. The three worlds of experience of Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti, or the heaven, the earth, and the netherland, the land or the patala or the hell, heaven, hell, and the earth. All the three would not have been possible to shine or experience unless there is knowledge of this knowledge which is shining within us. Same is the case for Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. If your experiences of the Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti, you are aware of these three experiences only because the self-effulgent nature or the self-illuminating nature, Swaprakashata. That Swaprakashata means self-effulgence nature of the Atma. He is the one which is giving us the experience and knowledge of those experiences. The objects may be name and form and the five sense organs can bring that world knowledge. But that sense organs input will not become a knowledge unless the self-effulgence is there. Now here also, the knowledge we will say when it is complete, only when it is brought by the instruments of knowledge like eyes and ears, etc., brings the immediate experience of the object, that is anubhava, experience. That experience is not a knowledge unless that is combined with the smriti or the remembrance of that object. What is that object? Now the first time when we see an object, it will be there won't be any smriti or won't be any memory. That is the time when we first learn that this is that. That is our experience of the object, but immediately it becomes a memory also. Because that experience itself becomes a memory. Because that is a memory which we will be using. Suppose if I am seeing an elephant, seeing the elephant first time, I will know that as this is something. The name and the form I see it. The name, if it is an elephant, is told to me, then it becomes a memory in me that this is elephant. That memory and the experience put together becomes the knowledge for me that this object which I have the form and the name is what is called elephant. Next time when I see an elephant, I don't need this memory of the elephant to be generated fresh. It is the anubhava of seeing the elephant or the experience of seeing the elephant and my memory of my elephant knowledge put together becomes the knowledge of the totality of the experience. So same way, the jnanam swayam siddham. If the knowledge about oneself, there is ahamasmi, I am. This is neither a memory nor a prama knowledge. It is an instrumental knowledge. It is one's own self-effulgence. It is the swayam siddham. It is acquired by oneself without any other instrument. There is no need of any memory of who I am. That memory is not required. But the anubhava that who I am is always with us. But in the case of the world, it is not the case, and therefore, if this knowledge is not there shining for the memory part which is within my memory bank, if it is not shining by the swayam knowledge from the knowledge within, even the world outside when it is seen, this is what happens when we lose memory. When we lose memory, what happens? The memory bank in our mind is not being lit by the knowledge, Atma. We may have the experience of the object, but it is not confirmed by the memory which is in our mind because of the absence of the Atma not shining, enlightening the memory. So there are a lot of technicalities into it which I am not going. There are many types of knowledge which have to be further subgregated into subcategories and all. So let us not get into the technicalities of it, which is in the part of the Nyaya Shastra and Vedanta Shastra. Both have to be combined together. So I am not getting into those intricacies of that. But basically what we have to understand is that if the self is not self-illuminating. No knowledge of the world can be ever experienced by us. When the knowledge doesn't happen, there is no action or no transaction. How can we transact when we do not know what is the object or what is the situation? And what is the situation will be known only when the knowledge, self-illuminating knowledge within us, referring to the memory and the instruments of knowledge put together, gives us the confirmation that this is the knowledge, jnana. Then only we will know that what is the action we can do, either to acquire it or to modify it. Whatever there are different there are Shat Vigaras, which is coming in the next, in the following Varthika. So all the Kriyas, different type of Kriya can happen only if the knowledge is taking place. And the knowledge cannot take place by merely by the sense organs. It needs the self-effulgent Atma within to shine. Therefore, we will get into the activity once the knowledge takes place. Kriya Nama Parispanda Parimana Swarupini Spandamane Bihirjnane Tat Anguravat Udbhavate. The Nama Kriya activities in the different names means Parispanda Parimana Swarupini. Parispanda means pulsation, and its Parimana is the formations or Vikaras. This is the nature of Swarupini Kriya. What is Kriya? Kriya has a movement and conversion, formations. Spandamane, when pulsating within the knowledge, Spandamane, Behirjnane, Tat Anguravat Udbhavate. Here, this is a very intricate aspect of how the knowledge is sprouting up. In the knowledge, what happens is that this knowledge springs up from the input from the sense organs and referred by the memory bank. It shines up as a knowledge. Therefore, the object and the activity can be understood. But for the activity to be created, this knowledge creates a spanda or a pulsation in the external knowledge, which is our vocal, that jnanendriya, karmendriya, bahya jnanendriyas. So that is being pulsated by the andaspanda. And then what happens? These pulsations and formations is what sprouts out from our own inner thing, as like a seed sprouting from for creation of its own product, like a tree. Now there are different types of kriyas. What is that? Utpadya, Apya, Samskarya, Vikarya. Samskarya, Vikarya. Utpadya, Apyam, Samskaryam, Vikarya. Utpadya means manufacture or create. Apya means to draw from some source. Like the example is normal. The typical example is what is called is, milking a cow. You are drawing some material out of some source. Samskarya is purifying, like purifying a gold or purifying water or purifying anything. Vikarya is transformation. The mud becoming a pot is a transformation. Manufacturing is one which, when you are creating something from what you call, like how you doing a cooking, different ingredients are put together and a new product is manufactured. Whereas transformation, it doesn't go through change, it only goes through the name and form changes. So manufacturing and transformation, there is a difference. Upashraya are categorized as Kriya, Karoti. And what are the forms? Karoti, Gacchati, Unmashti, Chinatti, iti, like the Pratiti. What are the type of this thing? Action, movement, then Unmashti means rubbing, like honing or polishing. Chinati is to split or cut. So these are the type of activity which you are doing. These are all appearances, pratiyate. When this sprouting of the knowledge happens, these kriya is appearing to be happening. Then what does it say that? Shiva Brahmadi Deheshu Sarvajna Iti Bhasate Deva Tiryang Manusheshu Kinchit Jna Taratamyata Shiva Brahmaiti Deheshu Sarvajna Iti Bhasate Deva Tiryang Manusheshu Kinchit Jna Tatparata Jarayu Antaja Cha Evam Svedaja Punat Udbitaha Ede Chaturvida Deha Kramasha Nyuna Vrattayaha. Now what does this say? Shiva Brahma in the body Sarvajnaha Iti Eva Bhasate. The appearance of Shiva and Brahma are the bodies in which the Jnana Sarvajna Iva Bhasate. They are called the Sarvajna because of the association of the body. That is the highest level where the Sarvajna state is there for the Jnanam. They are all called Sarvajna. Then comes Deva Tirdyang Manusheshu. The Devas, demigods are Tiryangs and Manushya is the human beings. In this gradually, Jnana Tatparata, the knowledge, the potency of knowing comes down because of the limitation of the instruments. Shiva, Brahma, Ityadi, Deheshu, it is in full blown. Deva, it is the next. Taking demigods, it is coming down. Manusheshu, it still reduces. Then comes the other category. Jarayuja, these mammals. Antaja is born out of eggs. Even Svedaja is from the moisture or the, when you have damp area, you will see the creatures coming out of the damp area. Punaha, Udbidaha is when the soil, when you put a seed in the soil, it takes time, but it comes out. The life comes out from that as a sprouting tree or a plant. So in this one, if you look at the mammal, they have more, function of functionality of the knowledge. For the birds, there is slightly lesser than the mammals. Then when it is to the insects and flies, it is lesser than the birds situation. And when it comes to the trees and the plants, it is further reduced. Nyuna Vrittayaha. These are all the gradation in which the knowledge exhibition is reducing from the Devas, Ishvara to Shiva, Brahma to the Antaja or the Udbija. Brahmadi Stamba Padyanta Swapna Kalpa Eva Kalpana Sakshat Krite Anavachinna Prakashate Paramatmani. Now, Brahmadi Stamba Padyanta, from the Brahma to the grass. Stamba is a grass or in a pillar. Swapna Kalpa Eva Kalpana, created out of imagination. This Brahma, etc. are creation of our Kalpana. Not our Kalpana, Kalpana. Sakshat Krite Anavachinne Prakashe Paramatmani. When it is seen in the light of the Paramatma Jnanam, they are, Avachinna becomes undifferentiated because all are expression of that Paramatma Jnanam. In that Jnanam, when that Jnanam is instrumented, Upadhi Veda, Shiva, Brahma to the Udbija, gradation is because of the Upadhi Veda or the body which is being Dehat. Here in the word Dehat, Deheshu is given. So it is the body which is creating the restrictions for the knowledge to explain. Instrument basically. But the entity which is inside each and every they are undifferentiated. From where? From the Paramatmani, from the state of Paramatma, which is itself is in the form of all these things. then the undifferentiated can be understood. Sakshakrite. When the Sakshakrite Sati, when you are realizing that truth, then you will realize that the Brahmadi Stambha Paryanta, from the Brahma to the insignificant grass, evam Swapna Kalpana Iva Kalpana. It is just like an imagination only. These things are being created. From the Brahma to the thing. Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan iti Vedavak Rudropanishad avi etam staudi sarvatmakam shivam. This Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan we have heard in the Kathopanishad also. It is there in the Rudropanishad also. So he is referring to the Rudropanishad is there. It is the smallest of the smallest, Anoraniyan. Mahato Mahiyan means it's the largest of the large. So the entire spectrum from the atom to the cosmos, everything has been included in it. This is told in the Vedavak, and that Vedavak is telling what? It is Sarvatmakam Shivam, the Sarva-Atmakam Shiva. It is the pure Atma, none other than the Shiva or the Mangala or the purity, the pure nature of the Shiva Tattvam or the purity, Atma, is the Sarvatmakatvam, is there in everything. So, Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan, the smallest of the smallest to the largest of the largest, it is nothing but the same Paramatma itself which is shining in the form. But the instruments are different, therefore we are Kalpana, we are doing an imagination of differentiation of the thing. When it is seen in the light of the Paramatmani, when in the knowledge of Paramatma, it becomes undifferentiated. Ishvaro Guru Ratmedi Murti Veda Vibhagine Yomavat Vyasta Dehaya Dakshinamurthaye Namah. Now here he is concluding the first Pada or the first Stotra of the Vishyam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari by telling that Namaskara to Dakshinamurti. Ishvara Guru Ratmedi, Guru and Atma. So Ishvara, Guru, Atma. I am using the three words like Ishvara, Guru and Atma. Murti Veda Vivagine, with the body separations. It is the instrumental which are separating. Having from the previous example, we should know the Shiva, Brahmedi, Tudbija, whereas it is the body which is making the difference. From the point of Atma, Sarvatma, there is no difference. Same is the case, Ishvara, Guru and Atma. When I am using these words also, Murti Veda Vivagine, with the differentiation of the Murti, Murti means body. But Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya, that which has got body like a space, to that Dakshinamurti, who is the knowledge embodiment, Namaha is my salutations. I am saluting to that Dakshinamurti, who is the form of Vyomavat Vyaptadeha. That he is also not different from the Anoraniyan Mahado Mahiyan. But his Deha is Vyomavat. He is all encompassing. Therefore, to that Dakshinamurti is my prostrations. So here comes the first, out of the 10, first mantra, first stotra we have completed. Any questions? Idi Dakshinamurti Stotrartha Pratipādike Prabandhe Manasolasa Varthika Sangraha. This is a narration of Dakshinamurti Prathamaullasa. Any questions in the first one? So, if there is no questions, I will go to the. You can hear me, no?
Yes, Mahodaya.
Okay. Bijasyandarivanguro jagaditam prangirvikalpam punaha maya kalpita deshakala kalana vaichitra chitrikritam Mayaviva vijrumbayatyavi mahayogiva yasvechaya tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye namayidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Bijasya andariva guru. Bijasya andar. So, an angura is the sprout. Bijasya andar. It is residing in the seed. Jagat idam. Idam jagat. This world of experiences. Prag nirvikalpam. Before the prang nirvikalpam means before this projection, Maya kalpida desha kala kalana. Maya kalpida. By the delusion, I am doing the projection. Kalpana means imagination or projection. What are the things which I am projecting? Desha, Kala, the time and the space. Kalana is different formations. Vaichitra Chitrigadam, in all the, different methods of it is being projected. Chitrigadam means it is Kalpidat Chitrigadam. It is being projected by Kalpana of Mayavi Iva, just like a magician bringing the objects from nowhere. Vijrumbeyati, Vijrumbeyatyavi, Api Vijrumbeyati, Mahayogiva Yasvachaya, Mahayogi. Here Mayavi and Mahayogi are compared between the two. Yah Swechaya, in by its own desire. The Mayavi, the magician, also brings things out of his own desire, like taking a rabbit out of the hat, or letting go the doves out of the handkerchief. All those things are Vijrumbayati, is appearances. Same way, this Mahayogi, Parameshwara, Swaichaya, with his own desire, he is projecting entire Jagat Idam, Prang Nirvikalpam, from the Nirvikalpa state, he is creating all those things. How? Bijasya andariva guru. Anguram bijasya andariva. The seed which is there inside the sprout, you can see the tree which can be so big. If you look at the seed of a fig tree in a fig fruit, you will see millions of seeds in it. One, mustard seed size of a seed is enough for a plant to come out of that. So the potency to project from a seed, that is being explained here. Bijasya andarivanguro. Anguram means the sprout which comes out of the bijam, from the seed. Same is the potency with which this Jagat, Idam Jagat, the yogi, Mahayogi, Swa-ichaya, with his own desire, projects, Vijrumbayati. He is taking it out. And what are the things which he is in? Maya kalpita deshakala kalana vaijitra chitrigadam. Because of the using the Maya, he is projecting all the time, space, and the entirety of the experiences of the world from the seed of his desire. And that whole world comes out. Swa-ichaya. That is why why did he create it? Swa-ichaya. Because of So-kamayata bhusyam prajayeti. Is that what the Taittiriya Upanishad says? So let me project, let me become many. That is his desire, to become many. And therefore, ajayamano bahuda vijayate. Even he didn't really become many, but he appeared to be many, like the same ocean becoming many waves, or the same space in when everything occupies the space, becomes many different objects in the space, whether it is Anoraniyan or Mahatomahiyan, whether it is the smallest of the smallest or the largest of the largest, doesn't matter. It is all projection of the knowledge. Jnanam. Jnanam yasya chakshuradikarana dvara svavispandade. It is coming later, much in the one or the sutras after that. It is that one which is projecting the whole thing outside. So the detailed discussion of this stotra and the following Varthikas, we will take it up in the next class. Unless, is there anything which you want to ask? Shobha, Patrick, Devati, Raj, Nitya.
I'm sorry,
Vijay.
Bindo. I'm a little disoriented. So now that I got my delivery of the by Swami Harshanananda, it's just orienting the way that this is laid out, so that I can go through it again and then.
I have the book here. If you want that,
I know. I don't know why I've seen you've got three versions of it, but like online, it's different. I don't know why, but it's just getting familiar. He's got, the actual verse. Anyway, I'll be better prepared to go through it and understand the flow of this.
Okay.
Mahodaya, I would like to listen to the recording and go over this before asking questions. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So we stop it here today. We'll continue next week. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Adi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namah. Adi Om.